We move on to wide receivers on the fantasy face-off, and the number one wide receiver from last year was a monster, Antonio Brown for the Steelers, which begs the question this year, with no consensus top running backs, should he be considered as a top 5 pick despite being a wideout?
PPR league, definitely. But if we're going to go standard leagues, again, I would not be surprised if someone took Antonio Brown in the top 5 because I think he's a very safe pick. And when you look at last year, Steve, we talked about this on a couple Colts Up Close shows ago. He almost won the Triple Crown at the wideout position. Led the league in receiving yards, led the league in receptions. If it wasn't for Dez Bryant, he would have led the league in touchdowns as well. So, again, I think he's a safe pick. And if you aren't sold on the likes of Jamal Charles, Marshawn Lynch, Arian Foster, and you aren't sold on, or if you think it's too high to take Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers, take Antonio Brown at 4 or 5, and you're going to have probably the best wideout in the NFL for the entire season.
He finished 38 points better than the next closest wide receiver in standard scoring last year, Demaryius Thomas. On top of that, in a weekly game, he's the most important thing. He's consistent and reliable. He's had 37 straight games of at least 50 yards and or a touchdown, and he's had 2 straight seasons of 5 catches or more, consecutive games of 5 catches or more. To me, you take him in the top 5 in PPR. I may be radical for saying this. I would take Antonio Brown in a PPR league number 1 overall. That's how confident I am in his floor and also a high ceiling, whereas these running backs have high ceiling, low floor. I want the upside and I want safe, and that's what Antonio Brown is to me.